Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Commissioner. May we move to the next exhibit? It's exhibit PV photos 1 to 21. It is 55 Soper Street, Parkview Building. This was inspected on the 27th of August 2024, and on the front page you'll see a picture of the exterior of the building. If you turn to the next page, we have pictures of the dilapidation in the ceiling, leaks in the basement, running sewage, an ablution facility, bathtub clearly damaged, an out-of-order elevator, refrigerator showing the kitchen area, an electric stove, water source in the bathroom, gas stove, dustbins, and an out-of-order fire equipment. Then we go to the background, paragraph 1. The building is privately owned under a sectional title arrangement. The building has 6 floors and 28 units, excluding those on the roof. These units are home to approximately 200 to 250 people. Observations. Rental. The occupiers pay rent in the amount of 4,500 to 5,500 for a 2-bedroom unit, and they pay 6,000 to 7,000 rand for a 3-bedroom unit. For the 13 units on the roof, rental is 400 rand per month. Structure. There are noticeable building defects. The building has minor dilapidation inside. There is sewage present in some parts of the building and excessive leaks in the basement, which could compromise the building's structural integrity. Under facilities in paragraph 6, there are 2 communal ablution facilities in the building. On other floors, each unit has an ablution facility. Some units have showers while others have bathtubs. Elevators in the building do not work and have not been working for a long time. Occupiers have electrical appliances such as refrigerators and electrical stoves. Utilities under paragraph 10. There is water in each unit in the kitchen and bathroom. Occupiers pay for the water at Tuso House. There is electricity in the building. Again, occupiers pay for the electricity at Tuso House. For cooking, occupiers use electrical stoves and gas stoves. Waste is put in dustbins and taken outside for pick it up to collect. In relation to fire, there is fire safety equipment in the building. However, it is not serviced and most of it does not work. One of the units was burnt in 2023 because the occupants of that unit had a fight and one of them used combustible spirits to burn the unit. Input from the parties, SIRI and ICF, state that in light of the fact that the owners have not abandoned the building, the residents are not indigent, and there is provision of basic services, all other recommendations in the report must be removed as they are beyond the scope of the Commission's work. The city stated that they note and agree with the position taken by the Commission. Next, we move to the conclusion. Under factual finding, we find that the inspection revealed that the building is prima facie not fit for human habitation, in that property poses a fire risk and the risk of collapse cannot be ruled out. There's leaking sewage and no working fire equipment. Terms of reference. The property prima facie does not fall within the terms of reference in that the legitimate landlords or owners have not abandoned the property and occupiers are not indigent. There is provision of basic services. Bylaw contraventions. There is prima facie evidence of contravention of the following bylaws. 20.1. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Emergency Services Bylaws, Section 16, Sub 1, 3, and 4, states that, open quotes, every owner of a building must ensure that all firefighting equipment and service installations on the premises are installed in a manner and condition ready for use in an emergency, except for purposes of inspection, service, repair, or firefighting, close quotes. No person may remove or interfere with any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises, and that no person may alter, damage, misuse, or render ineffective any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises. The fire equipment is not working. 20.2, the City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Public Health Bylaws state in sections 19 and 20 that every owner of premises to which a municipal sewage service is available must ensure that all wastewater drainage, pipes from any bath, wash and basin, toilet, shower, or kitchen sink is connected to the municipal sewer in an approved manner, and that no person may prevent, obstruct, or interfere with any sanitary service provided by the council. The property has running sewage. Possible recommendations: bylaw contraventions need to be regularized, and an inspection should be conducted to determine the structural integrity of the building. On the following page, Madam Chair and Madam Commissioner, is the remaining photographs and video footage. We have an out-of-date fire extinguisher, a spacious room, leaking water pipes, and the inner dimensions of a unit. The link to video footage is PV 20 and 21. If there are no objections to this exhibit, may we please admit this exhibit as PV 1 to 21.
Exhibit PV 1 to 21 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next, we'll go to 63 Nugget Street, General Court. Sorry, it's just, okay. This is Exhibit JC 1 to 17. And it's 63 Nugget Street, Genewell Court. The inspection date was the 22nd of August, 2024. On the front page, you see a picture of the exterior of the building. On the next page, it's pictures of the dilapidated inside of the building. More pictures of the inside of the building. Sewage outside the building, running in the pavements. Wastewater, destroyed ablution facilities. Stored water, primer stoves, paraffin-operated lamps, and the litter that is disposed of outside of the building. Background: the building has 3 floors with 28 units. Each unit accommodates approximately 6 people. There's therefore 168 people living in the building. Some of the occupants started living in the building in 1988. There have been people claiming to own the building who have attempted to evict the current occupants. Under observations, the occupiers state that they do not pay rent. Structure: there are noticeable building defects. The building is dilapidated inside and outside. There is sewage present in some parts of the building. Under paragraph 7, we deal with facilities. There are no ablution facilities in the building. These were removed to force the occupants to vacate the building. The occupants use toilets at the nearby tavern. Utilities on the next page. There is no water in the building. Occupants get water with buckets from the taxi rank nearby. There are no bathtubs in the units. There is no electricity in the building. For cooking, occupiers use primer stoves. For lighting, they use paraffin-operated lamps. Waste is put in plastic bags and into a skip bin a few meters from the building. There is also litter in some parts of the building. Fire: there is no fire equipment in the building. Inputs from the parties: we have CIRI and ICF that state that a structural engineer be engaged to determine the structural integrity. The report should provide an assessment of the conditions of the building and whether any repairs or upgrades can be effected without relocating the residents. The city conduct an assessment to see which of the residents qualify for free basic electricity in terms of the ESP, and that City Power will be required to reconnect the electricity if there are residents that qualify. In addition, the residents have the right to access basic water supply and sanitation, Section 3 of the Water Services Act. They further state that the city has an obligation to provide the minimum quantity of potable water to the residents, and we recommend that the appropriate alternative recommendation here is for the city to assess whether it complies with its obligation to provide the minimum quantity of water and to do so. They recommend that the city include the urgent provision of water by means of a communal standpipe or JoJo tanks so that the residents may have access to water in the building. The city made its comments and stated that they would engage the occupants for a consensual moving of the occupants, failing which the requisite legal proceedings be instituted to move the occupants. Determine if there is a temporary emergency accommodation to which the occupants can be moved. Under paragraph 17, we deal with the factual findings. The inspection revealed that the building is prima facie unfit for human habitation in that property poses a fire risk. The risk of collapse cannot be ruled out. There's overcrowding, there are no ablution facilities, there are no utilities, and there's leaking sewage. Terms of reference: The property falls within the terms of reference in that their legitimate landlords or owners have abandoned the property, occupiers are indigent, and there is no provision of basic services such as water and electricity. Bylaw contraventions. There is prima facie evidence of contravention of the following bylaws. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Emergency Services Bylaws, Section 16, Sub 1, 3, and 4, states that every owner of a building must ensure that all firefighting equipment and service installations on the premises are installed in a manner and condition ready for use in an emergency except for purposes of inspection, service, repair, or firefighting. No person may remove or interfere with any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises, and that no person may alter, damage, misuse, or render ineffective any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises. There is no fire equipment. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Public Health Bylaws state in sections 19 and 20 that every owner of premises to which a municipal sewage service is available must ensure that all wastewater drainage pipes from any bath, wash hand basin, toilet, shower, or kitchen sink is connected to the municipal sewer in an approved manner, and that no person may prevent, obstruct, or interfere with any sanitary service provided by the council. The property has running sewage. Paragraph 19.3, City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Problem Property Bylaws, Section 7, 1A states, the authorized official may, subject to the provisions of this section, declare a property or a building or any part thereof a problem property, provided that the responsible person allowed one or more of the following circumstances to exist at the property. Sub D, the building is overcrowded as envisaged in any law, bylaws, and town planning scheme in operation or any other relevant legislation. E, the building is unhealthy, unsanitary, unsightly, or objectionable as determined by the personnel in the Building Controls Subdirectorate of the City of Johannesburg with formal architectural qualifications and experience. The building is unsanitary. Possible recommendations: bylaw contraventions need to be regularized. An inspection should be conducted to determine the structural integrity of the building, and the building may have to be demolished and occupants evacuated to a temporary emergency accommodation. On the following page, Madam Chair and Madam Commissioner, we have additional photographs and footage, inner dimensions of the room. You can see the narrow corridors, space, and water leakages. We also have the links to the video footage. If there are no objections, Madam Chair, can this be admitted into evidence as Exhibit JC 1 to 17?
Exhibit JC 1 to 17 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next, we go to 64 Yeovil Street, Altruder Court. This is Exhibit EC 1 to 18. This inspection took place on the 27th of August 2024, and there's a picture of the outside building. On the next page, we have ablution facilities, bathtubs, an out-of-order elevator, kitchen with an operating sink, borehole pump, and JoJo tanks in the basement. Electric appliances, electrical and gas stoves, dustbins at the basement, updated fire equipment, and a locked escape route. Background to this building: the building is privately owned and is managed by Land Security Pty Limited, Landsec. The building has 4 floors and 40 units. Each unit is home to approximately 4 to 5 people. Approximately 160 people are living in the building. Observations: rental. The occupiers pay rent, which ranges from 2,800 Rand for a bachelor's unit to 5,400 for a 2-bedroom unit. The structural integrity of the building is prima facie sound. Facilities, paragraph 6. Each unit has ablution facilities and they flush. There are bathtubs in the units. All the elevators in the building are not in working condition and have not been working for a long time. Utilities: there's water in each unit, both in the bath and the kitchen. However, the water is sourced from a borehole which feeds into a tank placed in the basement. The building has prepaid electricity. Occupiers use electrical appliances. For cooking, occupiers use electric and gas stoves. Waste is placed in dustbins in the basement and collected by Pick It Up twice a week. Under fire, the fire safety equipment in the building is due for service in December 2024. The fire escape is locked for safety reasons. Input from the parties, Syrian and ICF agree with the report, and the city notes and agree with the position taken by the Commission. Under conclusion, we have the factual finding. The inspection revealed that the building is prima facie fit for human habitation. Terms of reference, the property prima facie does not fall within the terms of reference in that the legitimate landlords or owners have not abandoned the property and occupiers are not indigent. There is provision of basic services. Under bylaw contraventions, there is prima facie evidence of contraventions of the following bylaws. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Emergency Services Bylaws, Section 13, requirements for emergency exits, states under sub 1, every owner of a building must ensure that any escape door in that building, A, is fitted with hinges that open in the direction of escape, and B, is equipped with a fail-safe locking device or devices that do not require a key to exit. Every owner of a building must ensure that any door in a feeder route, A, is a double swing type door, B, is not equipped with any locking mechanism. Sub 3, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 2, if it is necessary that a door in a feeder route be locked for security reasons, the owner of the building must provide an alternative means of escape approved by the Chief Fire Officer. Sub 4, no person may obstruct or allow the obstruction of any escape route from any premises that may prevent or hinder the escape of any person or animal from the premises in an emergency. Possible recommendations, the bylaw contraventions need to be regularized. On the next page, we have the album of remaining photographs and video footage. You'll see the dimensions of the room, electric connections, and the fire equipment. We also have the links to the video footage. Madam Chair, if there's no objection, may this be admitted into evidence as EC 1 to 18.
Exhibit EC 1 to 18 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Commissioner. The next report is 80 Ferreira Street, Exhibit CPB 1 to 11. Sorry, Madam Chair, can we just change that? It's supposed to be 80 FS 1 to 11, not CPB.
It's supposed to be exhibit
80 FS.
80 FS.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. 1 to 11. This was inspected on the 29th of August 2024, and on the front page you'll see a picture of the property. Next, on the next page, we have ablution facilities, the bathtub, the electric stoves, the dustbin, and the kitchen sink. Background, the building is privately owned. The building is a standalone house housing 2 families of 4. Observations, the occupiers pay rent of about 6,500 Rand per month to a gentleman named Jonathan. The structure of the building is prima facie sound. Under facilities, there are ablution facilities in each unit that flush normally. There are bathtubs with running water in the units. Under utilities, there's prepaid electricity in the building. For cooking, the occupants use an electric stove. Waste is put in the dustbin and collected by Pick It Up weekly. There's water in the building, which is included in the rental cost, and there's no apparent fire risk. Input from the parties, CIRI and ICF agree with the report, and the city has no further input or recommendations in regard to this building. We go to conclusion in paragraph 14 of the factual finding. The inspection revealed that the building is prima facie fit for human habitation. Terms of reference, the property prima facie does not fall within the terms of reference in that the legitimate landlords or owners have not abandoned the property, occupiers are not indigent, and there is the provision of basic services. There is no prima facie evidence of any bylaw contraventions on the property. Possible recommendations, there are no recommendations in respect of this property. On the next page, you'll have the album of remaining photographs and video footage, shows the inner dimensions of the room, gas stove, and the electricity connection. We also have the links to video footage. Madam Chair, if there's no objections, can this be admitted into evidence as Exhibit 80 FS 1 to 11.
Exhibit 80 FS 1 to 11 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Commissioner. The next property is corner Yanni and Jules Street. It's Exhibit JJ 1 to 17. It's a TEA in Jeppestown. The date of inspection was the 29th of August 2024. This is the exterior view of the Bint building. The tenants were moved from the Bint building in picture 1 to the exterior view of the TEA in picture 2. We also have, again, another picture of the Bint building as well as tents on the lower ground where the occupiers were moved to. On the next page, you have the communal mobile ablution facilities, wash bowl, water tap, mobile electric transformer, primer stove, and a skip bin. We also have the inner dimensions of the tent and the house with electricity near the TEA. The background. The building has 3 floors. These floors used to be homes to approximately 1,000 people before it burnt on the 25th of August 2024. Former occupiers started living in the building in 2016. The fire in the building was alleged to have been caused by people who were fighting, and only the 2nd and 3rd floors were burnt. After the fire, the occupiers were moved to a temporary emergency accommodation, TEA, at a nearby sports field. Each tent at the TEA houses 5 to 15 people. There's also a TEA for occupiers of the Express building, situated at 44 Nugget and Commissioners Street, in parenthesis, Express building TEA, which burnt in January 2024. An observation of the building was made on the 21st of August 2024. There used to be about 200 occupiers at the Express building, but only 50 people moved to the TEA, and only 38 remained there. In their tents, there were 5 people per tent. The conditions for both the TEAs are the same in relation to facilities and amenities. Observations, rental. The occupiers do not pay any rental at the TEA. However, some used to pay rent ranging from 500 to 800 Rand monthly. It is unknown as to whom they were paying rent at that stage. The Express building TEA occupiers also do not pay rent at the TEA. However, they used to pay rent at the Express building until they found out that the person collecting the rent did not own it. The structure. The building has burnt. Its structure is prima facie not sound. The tents at the TEA are still new. However, the occupiers complain that when there are windy conditions, the tents become unstable. There is also a concern that the tents on the lower ground will be flooded when it rains. Facilities. There are communal mobile ablution facilities at the TEA. Occupiers use wash bowls for bathing. Utilities. The TEA has a communal tap with running water. Mobile electricity is provided to the TEA by City Power. However, occupiers do not pay for it. The electricity was already there when they arrived, as there was already another TEA. To charge their phones, the occupiers are assisted by the occupiers of the house with electricity. For cooking, all occupiers use primer stove. Waste is put into a skip bin placed at the TEA. Fire. A fire allegedly caused the fire at the building. There is no fire equipment at the TEA. Input from the parties. Syria and ICF agree with the report that the structure is unsound. A structural engineer to determine whether the building needs to be demolished and rebuilt or whether it can be reconstructed in light of the fire. The TEA needs to be measured against the standards of an adequate TEA required in the EHP. This includes the responsibility of the city to ensure safety at the TEA. They further state that EMS must be engaged to determine whether fire equipment can be provided. The emergency service bylaws provide that this is the responsibility of the owner of the property. The city commented and stated that the commissioner has not gained access and inspected the building. With respect to the allegation that the tents are overcrowded and therefore in breach of the problem property bylaws is not supported by A, confirmation as to the number of occupants the tent is meant to accommodate, and 2, the legal meaning ascribed to overcrowding. Save for what is stated above, the city agrees with the findings and conclusions of the commission. Under conclusion, paragraph 23, the factual finding, the inspection revealed that the building is prima facie unfit for human habitation because it burnt. Terms of reference, the property prima facie falls within the terms of reference in that the legitimate landlords or owners has abandoned the property, occupiers are indigent, and there was inadequate provision of basic services such as water. The TEA does not fall within the terms of reference. Bylaw contraventions. Because the building could not be inspected, no prima facie findings can be made on any bylaw contraventions. In respect of the TEA, there is prima facie evidence of contravention of the following bylaws. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Problem Property Bylaws, Section 7, 1A states the authorized official may, subject to the provisions of this section, declare property or building or any part of them thereof a problem property, provided that the responsible person allowed one or more of the following circumstances to exist at the property. The building is overcrowded as envisaged in any law, bylaw, town planning scheme, in operation or any other relevant legislation. E, the building is unhealthy, unsanitary, unsightly, or objectionable as determined by the personnel in the Building Control Subdirectorate of the City of Johannesburg, with formal architectural qualifications and experience. There's overcrowding. Possible recommendations. Bylaw contraventions need to be regularized at the CEA, and inspection should be conducted to determine the structural integrity of the burnt building. On the next page, we have the further photographs and video footage. You can see the exterior building of the Express building. Links to the video footage are also placed at the bottom. If there are no objections, Madam Chair, may this exhibit be admitted into evidence as JJ 1 to 17.
Exhibit JJ 1 to 17 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, may we go to the next exhibit, which is FH 1 to 19. It's Commissioner and John Page Street, called Fraser House. The date of inspection was the 15th of August 2024. On the front, you'll see the exterior of the building. On the next page, there are the inner dimensions of a unit, common area depicting the structure, communal ablution facilities, communal showers, out-of-order elevator, communal kitchen, the accessible electricity room, electric stove, skip dustbin, up-to-date fire equipment, and couches on the ground floor. The background to this property: the building is a temporary emergency accommodation for people from 5 Soper Road, Berea. A committee of 10 members are responsible for running the building, including cleaning. The building has 5 floors, each with 18 units. These units are home to approximately 429 people. Some units accommodate families, while some are shared by gender, and a unit accommodates about 4 people. Observations: the occupiers do not pay rent. The structural integrity of the building seems to be sound. Facilities: there are communal ablution facilities on each floor. They are well kept and flush normally. There are communal showers in the building, however, they only have cold water. Elevators do not work. Under utilities, there are 2 communal kitchens with taps on each floor. Occupants do not pay for the water. There is electricity in the building. The occupants want the electricity room to be locked for safety reasons. Occupiers use the electric stoves in the communal kitchens for cooking. Waste is put in the skip bin a few meters from the building. Under fire, there is fire safety equipment in the building. Equipment is up to date and is due for service in 2025. There are unused couches on the ground floor. The occupants have previously pleaded with the Johannesburg Social Housing Company to remove the couches. This has not happened. These couches could be an accelerant in case of fire. Input from the parties: SIRI and ICF agree with the report, and the city notes the Commission's recommendations and have no further inputs or recommendations to make. Under conclusion, we have the factual finding. The inspection revealed that the building is prima facie fit for human habitation. Terms of reference: the property prima facie does not fall within the terms of reference, in that the legitimate landlords or owners have not abandoned the property, and there is provision of basic services such as water and electricity, and that the building is a temporary emergency accommodation. Bylaw contraventions, there is prima facie no evidence of any bylaw contraventions in the property. Possible recommendations, the concerns of the occupants must be attended to. The occupants must ensure that they keep the building in its current state. This is a model of temporary emergency accommodation. On the next page, we have an album of additional photographs and video footage, lockers allocated to the occupants, equipment in the basement, electricity connections, communal ablution facilities, and the corridors. We also have the links at the bottom. Madam Chair, if there's no objection, may this be admitted into evidence as FH 1 to 19.
Exhibit FH 1 to 19 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Commissioner. The next property is Nugget and De Villiers Street, the Kutuleni shelter. It is Exhibit ES 1 to 15. Madam Chair, this was inspected on the 22nd of August 2024. In the front, you'll see a picture of the building. On the next page, there are ceiling board partitioning, sewage leakage, water leakage, communal ablution facilities, as well as communal showers. We then go onto the next page where we have communal taps, electric stoves, the dustbin, and the fire equipment. Under background, the background is a shelter provided by the City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality. The occupants were allocated this building in 2012. Only 11 of the current occupants are those placed by the city. The building is a single story, although some units are vacant. Each unit accommodates approximately 3 people. Observations, the occupiers do not pay rent because the city provides the shelter. Structure, there are noticeable building defects. The building is dilapidated, especially inside. There's sewage running in some parts of the building. There's an excessive water leak just in front of the building. The water is used to wash cars. Facilities, there are communal ablution facilities in the building, as well as communal showers. Under utilities, paragraph 9, there is a communal tap in the building. The city pays for the water. There is electricity in the building, and the city pays for that as well. For cooking, occupiers use electric stoves. Waste is put in the dustbin, and Pick It Up collects it weekly. The fire equipment in the building is not serviced, and some of it does not work. The wooden partitioning poses a fire risk. Input from the parties, CIRI and ICF, agree with the report as well as the city. Conclusion, factual finding. The inspection revealed that the building is prima facie fit for human habitation. However, the property does pose a fire risk, and the risk of collapse cannot be ruled out. There is water leakage outside the property. In terms of reference, the property prima facie does not fall within the terms of reference in that the legitimate landlords or owners have not abandoned the property. There is provision of basic services such as water, and however, the occupants are indigent. Bylaw contraventions. There is prima facie evidence of contraventions of the following bylaws. Next page, City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Emergency Services Bylaws, Section 16, Sub 1, 3, and 4, states that every owner of a building must ensure that all firefighting equipment and service installations on the premises are installed in a manner and condition ready for use and in an emergency, except for purposes of inspection, service, repair, or firefighting. No person may remove or interfere with any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises, and that no person may alter, damage, misuse, or render ineffective any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises. The fire equipment is not serviced. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Public Health Bylaws state in sections 19 and 20 that every owner of premises to which a municipal sewage service is available must ensure that all wastewater drainage, pipes from any bath, wash hand basin, toilet, shower, or kitchen sink is connected to the municipal sewer in an approved manner, and that no person may prevent, obstruct, or interfere with any sanitary service provided by the council. The property has running sewage. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Water Services Bylaws, Section 45(1) states, no consumer may permit A, the purposeless or wasteful discharge of water from terminal water fittings, B, pipes or water fittings forming part of a water installation to leak. C, the use of maladjusted or defective water fittings in a water installation. D, an overflow of water from water installation to persist. And E, a wasteful use of water to persist. Sub 2, an owner must repair or replace any part of his or her water installation which is in such a state of disrepair that it is either causing or is likely to cause an event referred to in subsection 1. Sub 3, if an owner fails to take measures as contemplated in subsection 2, a designated officer may issue an enforcement notice in connection therewith. Sub 4, every consumer must ensure that any equipment or plant connected to his or her water installation uses water in an efficient manner. Possible recommendations, bylaw contraventions need to be regularized. On the next page, we have the album of additional photographs and video footage. We have the inner dimensions of the common room, communal basins, and the inner dimensions of a unit. Then we also have the links to the video footage, which is ES14 and ES15. If there are no objections, Madam Chair, may this be admitted into evidence as Exhibit ES1 to 15.
Exhibit ES1 to 15 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next exhibit is the report of the Wembley Stadium. That is Exhibit WSS 1 to 26. This was inspected on the 28th of August 2024. On the front page, you'll see the picture of the exterior view. The outside, on the next page, is pictures of the outside view of the tents, the park homes, and the exterior of the Safa house. There's also sewage at the park homes and communal mobile ablution facilities. Then there are shared ablution facilities at the park homes, communal taps, exposed electrical cables, electric transformer, electric stove, and electric appliances. We have a skip-in recycling area, recycling bags, and out-of-order fire equipment. You can also see on the last picture is wooden partitioning and the narrow passages. Under background, there are 3 temporary emergency accommodations. It is Wemmer Shelter, the tents, and the park homes. These have been placed at the Wembley Sports Stadium. The Wemmer Shelter occupiers occupy the house. They arrived in 2016 from the Shangwa building situated at corner Jeppe and Small Street. The house has 27 units, which are home to approximately 300 people. However, when they arrived, they were only 140. Their numbers increased when occupants in the tents started moving into the house during the rainy seasons as their tents were being flooded. The tent occupants are former tenants of the Cape York building situated at the corner of Jeppe and Nugget Street, which burnt in 2017. The last TEA is called Park Homes. Its occupiers are former occupiers of Faces Mansions situated at 39 to 41 Davis Street. The occupiers were moved into the TAA in 2018 when the front wall of the building fell and 3 children died. There's also the Safa house in the stadium, which is not a TAA. After this house burnt, people started occupying it. The observations: the occupiers do not pay rent as the place is owned by the City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality and is a TAA. Next, in paragraph 7, we deal with the structure. The tent structure is also not sound, some are torn. The structure of the containers at park homes is sound. There are noticeable building defects in the Safa house as it is dilapidated inside and outside. Sewage is present in some parts of the building, especially at the park homes. Facilities: for the occupiers of Wemmer Shelter and the tents, there are communal ablution facilities. They are cleaned once or twice a week. For the occupiers of the park homes, there are shared ablution facilities in each container. Occupiers of 2 units share the ablution facility. Utilities: all the occupants use communal water taps, however the taps leak excessively. All the occupiers have electricity, however when the occupiers arrive, the city connected to the same grid for the new TAs, causing an electricity overload. The tents have exposed electric cables. An electric transformer that is not covered poses a risk. All occupiers use electric stoves for cooking. Waste is put into a skip bin within the stadium. Waste is recycled at the stadium. Fire. The fire equipment is not working and has not been serviced in a long time. The tents are partitioned with wooden material, which poses a fire risk. Input from the parties. CIRI and ICF agree with the findings that the structural integrity of the buildings needs to be undertaken. All buildings that constitute a TEA should be inspected and assessed against the legal and policy standards established in the EHP and Johannesburg TEA policy. The city as owner bears the responsibility of ensuring compliance with EHP and the emergency services and public health bylaws. The city agrees with the position taken by the Commission. Then the conclusion, factual findings under paragraph 23. The inspection revealed that the building is prima facie unfit for human habitation in that the property poses a fire risk. The risk of collapse cannot be ruled out, overcrowding and leaking sewage. The terms of reference, the property prima facie does not fall within the terms of reference in that the legitimate landlords or owners have not abandoned the property. However, occupiers are indigent and there's an inadequate provision of basic services such as electricity. Bylaw contraventions. There is prima facie evidence of contravention of the following bylaws. City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Emergency Services Bylaws, Section 16, Sub 1, 3, and 4, states that every owner of a building must ensure that all firefighting equipment and service installations on the premises are installed in a manner and condition ready for use in an emergency, except for purposes of inspection, service repair, or firefighting. No person may remove or interfere with any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises, and that no person may alter, damage, misuse, or render ineffective any firefighting equipment or service installation at any premises. The fire equipment is not working. The City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Public Health Bylaws states in sections 19 and 20 that every owner of premises to which a municipal sewage service is available must ensure that all wastewater drainage pipes from any bath, wash hand basin, toilet, shower, or kitchen sink is connected to the municipal sewer in an approved manner, and that no person may prevent, obstruct, or interfere with any sanitary service provided by the council. The property has running sewage. City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality Problem Property Bylaws, Section 7(1)(a). The authorized official may, subject to the provisions of this section, declare a property or building or any part thereof a problem property, provided that the responsible person allowed one or more of the following circumstances to exist at the property. Sub D, the building is overcrowded as envisaged in any law, bylaw, and town planning scheme in operation or any other relevant legislation. E, the building is unhealthy, unsanitary, unsightly, or objectionable as determined by the personnel in the Building Subcontrol Directorate of the City of Johannesburg with formal architectural qualifications and experience. The conditions are unsanitary. Possible recommendations, bylaw contraventions need to be regularized and an inspection should be conducted to determine the structural integrity of Suffer House. On the next page, Madam Chair, Madam Commissioner, we have the album of remaining photographs and video footage, the inner dimensions of the Suffer House, the tuck shop at the Suffer House. You also have the inner dimensions at the Park Homes and inner dimensions of the tents, the stored water, the partitioning that are used, and then the links to the video footage. Madam Chair, Madam Commissioner, if there are no objections, may this be admitted into evidence as Exhibit WSS 1 to 26.
Exhibit WSS 1 to 26 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Commissioner. May this be an opportune time to break for the lunch adjournment.
Yes. We'll take an hour's adjournment.
Thank you, Madam Chair.